Well, welcome along to another Rangers TV webinar. Today I am joined by Supporters Liaison Officer Greg Marshall and Senior Commercial and Marketing Executive Natalie Nairn. Going to have a chat about MYGERS as we reach a fantastic milestone of 10,000 members. Guys, firstly, give me your reaction to reaching that fantastic number so quickly after launching this new product.
It's fantastic, honestly incredible. It really just does highlight again how big the Rangers support is, how strong the Rangers support is, and I think it's been particularly pleasing to see the uptake of the product across all the different versions of membership. So we've had great uptake from UK members from both a season ticket perspective and a non-season ticket holder perspective, but we've also seen a lot of our junior fans get involved, and we've got a youngest fan, only 5 weeks old, which is fantastic to see, but also seeing great uptake in some of our international markets as well. So products doing well in America, and seeing some just like brilliant countries come through when we look at the global GERS data. So it's really a nice feeling to know that there are MyGERS members all over the world, and it certainly backs up that no matter where you go, you'll always find a Rangers fan. So yeah, brilliant, absolutely thrilled with the performance so far and the reaction so far.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. It's really encouraging to see us already three weeks in to being the biggest club-led fan organisation going. That's fantastic. I think as well, as Natalie says, that the response we've had from all over the world has been great. I mean, really, especially this time that we're in right now, it's fantastic, the response, and we're just really thankful to all the fans involved.
Yeah. Let's maybe go back to the beginning then. What was the idea behind introducing MyGERS?
Yeah, MyGERS was all about bringing fans closer to the club, and it is about creating a platform that is a really easy way for fans to access a range of experiences and benefits, discounts across club products such as the stadium restaurant, a free month and discount on RTV, discount on women's matches tickets. There's the welcome packs that will be available from July. But crucially, MyGERS was also a great opportunity to introduce loyalty as a concept into the Rangers world, and that's something that fans have been asking for a long time now, and it's great to have a mechanism in place that rewards the fans that have shown the club the most loyalty, and it helps us guide how we distribute some of our biggest tickets as well. So yeah, MyGERS was really a strong way to create a platform that fans can benefit from in lots of different ways.
Yeah, just to follow up on that, I think, well, I've been at the club 3 years now, and every conversation that we've had with fans when reaching out via that by survey or face-to-face meetings or the focus groups that we took part in for this, the response has always been about how they want the club to acknowledge loyalty in some form, especially after everything we've been through. Our fans have consistently showed that great level of loyalty, so providing a platform where we can incorporate loyalty into the sort of core mechanics of what we're looking to do, I think is fantastic. It's really, really encouraging, and it's something that I'm really excited by to see it come to fruition.
One of the things that supporters will be able to benefit from is member experiences when they sign up for MyGERS. Natalie, maybe can you just explain a bit more about that one?
Yeah, we're really looking forward to delivering a good range of experiences for MyGERS members. So some of those will be match day based. So that will be things like for junior MyGERS members, we'll be creating more mascot places than ever, more flag bearer places than ever, and really creating as many touch points as we can during a match for our youngest MyGERS members to be part of the build-up. There'll also be non-match day ones as well. So again, thinking about some of the experiences for our younger members, that could be things such as Christmas parties, it could be things such as picnics with Roxy and Boris during the summer. But we'll also have some quite big scale ones as well. So as James Bisgrove and Ross Wilson mentioned, we're looking at delivering an open training session, which we know from all our fan feedback and research that's going to be a hugely popular event. So really looking forward to being able to deliver that as soon as it's safe to do so. But there'll also be things for our international MyGERS members as well. Certainly we'll be looking at a lot of virtual experiences. So we're looking at introducing virtual mascot places, for example, for the first time next season, and having things such as Zoom calls with like first team players, having meet and greets, and really offering lots of different experiences, something for everyone, and looking forward to sharing those with you and everyone else as the programme evolves.
Yeah, I think it's really great. It's really encouraging. Again, going back to that feedback we've been getting, it's all around getting access to the players, the first team, finding ways for the club to connect with our wide fan base. And look, there's a great deal of difficulties when we've got the numbers at the size that we have as a supporter base, but this is a great opportunity that we can use to create these experiences and really provide great value to the fans who are being involved. And I really just can't wait to see that first smile for that kid, even on the virtual mascot. It might be in Canada with our friends over at NASA, or Australia with our ORSA members. Just seeing them being involved. I mean, that's what the Worldwide Rangers support's about. It's about being part of it, and this MyGERS creates that. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, there's been questions about the value of points from supporters onto different products. Can you maybe just explain a little bit more about how the point system will work?
Mm-hmm. Yes, so the guiding principle with our points is points have been developed for activities that benefit and grow the club. So we've developed those for lots of different activities. So the majority of points will be available for home match attendance. But there will also be points available for RTV, for stadium tours as well. So whilst the key focus was rewarding fans who attend home matches, we realise that's not always available to everyone, which is why we wanted to create points values for things such as RTV. And, you know, I know what you're saying, Nick, about some people have maybe questioned the weighting of some of the points, particularly in relation to RTV. A few people have questioned why, for example, unlimited seems quite high. That was really done with the view that the fans who purchase that product, it's quite an expensive product, and it's something that's geared up to our international supporters in particular. So it's quite a large investment that people put into Rangers TV Unlimited, and that was reflected in the points that we've allocated to that activity as well. But I think it's probably important as well to say that, you know, and emphasise that it's home match attendance will drive the bulk of points, and that's why, for example, we've introduced a way, if you can't attend the game, you can still access a point through using Seat Sub. And it's interesting some of the feedback we've had for that as well, because overwhelmingly the feedback's been positive, that fans think it's right that if you're attending the games, you're getting acknowledged and rewarded and building a bank of points for that. But naturally there's a few groups of fans, particularly our fans who aren't based close to Glasgow, that are questioning whether are they going to be unfairly penalised, because if you're subject to difficult transport journeys to get to a game, sometimes circumstances out with your control mean that flights are delayed or ferries don't leave on time. So this is a useful opportunity to emphasise that there's going to be a human element to this as well, and will be accommodating to extreme circumstances that sometimes fans find themselves in. So, you know, particularly for like some of our Northern Irish fans, they were telling us in the feedback sessions that, you know, sometimes the ferry will just leave, it won't leave on time, so that they miss the game, and, you know, they wanted to be there, they did everything in their power to get that game, but they just couldn't get there. So in circumstances like that, where fans can share with us evidence of trying to get to a game, you know, we'll be able to look at that with a mature way and say, well, actually, yes, we can be flexible with that and still offer points where it feels right to do so.
Yeah, I think just to follow on from that, what we're trying to do is create an environment where fans are all treated fairly and equally. It doesn't matter where you come from, how far you travel to support, that you're treated in the same way. Now, the Seat Sub point, which again was one that was a slight bit of controversy on, because some people feel, how is it fair that someone who isn't attending the game can get the same points? Well, there is circumstances where support, with it being such a vast and diverse space, that a late turnaround rearranged game on a Wednesday night, our fans in Northern Ireland has suggested, in London and Inverness, like that if a child's going to that game, they've got school the next day, they maybe not be able to go and get back up in time. So we're creating a platform to allow that as part of our core, and again, to be as open and flexible as possible. This isn't to say that them not attending that game is to be disadvantaged in any way. It's about providing flexibility so that fans are accurate, their loyalty is accurately reflected in everything we're doing. And what would go on to say further in relation to the points, we've we've really got into the nitty gritty of these point allocations within many internal meetings, within fan feedback sessions and beyond. We've had feedback sessions, as Natalie alluded to, in Northern Ireland that specifically spoke to the specific issues that a lot of travelling fans have, and I think that was fantastic to be able to get that insight. But we've also had a lot of ones closer at home. We've had different demographics. We've had some fans who aren't even season ticket holders coming in and getting involved and getting their thoughts across, which I think is really important, so that we can try and create this platform that is so broad and covers so many different aspects, and we try and treat them all equally and be as dynamic as possible within that organisation. But the fact is MYGERS, we're at the start of this journey on this. You know, we will analyse feedback, we will take points on board, but we believe that the points that we've created in this situation, we believe there's sound reasoning behind them all. We can stand by every decision that's made, and like whether every individual in the team would put that exact point weight, and there's not one of us that would say there's any point weightings that are completely unfair. Like, we wouldn't have got to a situation where we would have allowed that. And coming back to that point, on a lot of the points, I think that there's some really good examples within the FAQ. If anyone's feeling uncomfortable with it, that's the first place I would recommend them to read, is that FAQ, because we list some examples. For instance, the Old Firm away game, the fact that that's worth 0 points, if someone questions that, how are you not loyal if you got an away game? So, well, that's not really the case. That because it's such a tight allocation, us granting 0 loyalty points for that ensures that those who get the advantage of being able to attend that game don't get unfairly pushed ahead of those who aren't going. And again, that maybe ties in with why some of the away games are a slightly smaller points total. See, because we've switched from a lot of people compare it to the travel club, and we're switching now from a points on application process to a points on purchase process. And that's why each of those away games with the smaller allocations are weighted appropriately. So, and if you look within the FAQ again, the smaller allocations, the tighter games where more people are trying to go, they're worth maybe 1 loyalty point, the other ones 2. Again, all that's reflective to try and create this environment where we're being as fair and equitable as possible throughout the whole system, giving people acknowledgement for the sacrifices they're making to travel the game, but not alienating those who couldn't make that game via sometimes not their own choice, just through not getting a ticket. And it's a really hard balance to do, but I think what we've started on, and the starting point that we have, is quite a solid position, and one that we'll analyse thoroughly throughout the course of this season and beyond as it goes ahead. But one thing I think I'm most proud of is the way that we've created this point system, which is totally bespoke to Rangers. It's not been done by any other club. We've used principles of the other clubs, massive clubs in England and the rest of Europe and beyond, who use all these different sort of point systems. But we've taken what we feel are the best parts of them, fit it into a Rangers scenario, and I think we've done it in a way which rewards loyalty whilst not alienating all fans. And it's a really hard balance, because we went from a system before with the CCCS where everyone is treated the same regardless of anything, and naturally the other end of that is the closed door point system where fans are right at the top, stay at the top. We've tried to prevent that being the case completely, where young fans are never able to break in, because I think it's really important in everything that we do. The future of our club, which is the young fans, need to have a pathway into being considered a loyal fan. And I think we've done it in a way that I think's really encouraging, and I think we've done something here that's unique. And I'm sure we'll encounter speed bumps along the way, and we'll maybe have to analyse the way some certain points go. But we're open to that, and we're not hiding from that.
Yeah, I think it was a case of it was never going to be perfect on day one, and ultimately a perfect ticket distribution system probably doesn't exist, because one of the best things about the Rangers support is how big and how passionate the fans are and how much they want to be at every game. But the problem is we don't have enough tickets to service that demand. So there's never going to be a perfect system, unfortunately. However, we want to get to a better system. We want to get to a better system using fan feedback and using principles that help the club. And as Greg mentions, the heart of this revamp around ticketing was around rewarding fans, and but also not creating a closed shop. And we didn't want a situation where the rich get richer. So the loyal fans certainly have first opportunity at tickets, but they don't have the only opportunity, and that was really important for the success and the sustainability of the ticketing model as well. You know, we didn't want something that's just going to look great in season one and tick lots of boxes, but then not be thinking about the future. And as Greg correctly mentions, you know, the younger fans coming through, and maybe fans who have lived abroad who are coming back, fans who have stopped going to football for various reasons. You know, everyone should feel that there's aspiration within the ticketing system, that they can get to silver tier, to the gold tier, and move with that pattern.
Greg, one of the things you mentioned there was feedback. Is there a way for supporters to directly provide any feedback on MyGERS that they may have?
Yeah, certainly. I think we've created a bespoke email account. It's mygers@rangers.co.uk. The team there, I think we've got a roughly 3-day turnaround on response right now, which they're working very, very hard on it. And I've actually had loads of messages saying how helpful they've been, so that's good. You can also come to myself. And I think it's also worth expanding on within the MyGERS environment. We're looking to create first-class fan engagement on that. Now, the exact model and status of that still to be totally confirmed. And there's opportunities for fans to get involved in what they feel they want. But we're looking at examples in England and beyond about what sort of analysts amongst fan engagement and football feel would represent that, and we're going to take that on board and really tie that into the core of what MyGERS is going to be. It's not going to be a one-way shop. We decide the points, the experiences, and so on and so forth. It's going to be a conversation. I think that's essential for this to work. This isn't Rangers Football Club telling the Rangers fan base, this is what we think loyalty is. You're going to have to tie in with that to make it. It needs to be one hand talking to the other and getting involved and making sure that it goes on and develops into something that's real. Because my personal belief is, I said it before, we're at the start of this journey, not the end. And where we get to must be informed by the fans, and completely and wholly, because this is a fans membership that we've created. And for fans to get real value out of it, they need to tell us what they want. So hopefully those will open as many doors as possible. Maybe from my own perspective, forgive me if I'm not getting back to you within a couple of days right now, because the volume's still very high, but we will get back to it. And I think it's really important that we hear your voices on that. And as we alluded to before as well, we have taken fans' feedback on board at the start of this. We'll seek to do more. We'll seek to get more fans involved in, but it's definitely a process that's right at the core of what we're seeking to do.
Greg's right. MyGERS will evolve. You know, it'll evolve through time. It'll evolve through the programme getting bigger. We've hit 10,000 members in only 3 weeks. You know, we'll be back in touch with fans that start to approach 20,000 fans, and you know, and it gets bigger and bigger. So yeah, MyGERS is not a finished product. It will evolve just like so many things in football do, and we'll certainly be putting fan feedback at the heart of that. It's good to acknowledge as well that some of the most senior figures in the club recently have been using RTV as a platform to really speak directly to fans, which is fantastic, and something that as a club we'll continue to do. Feedback for the club is a daily process, so it's about listening to the fans on a daily basis, but implementing feedback as much and as quickly as we can. So yeah, feedback is absolutely at the heart of our decision-making processes, and it's something we look to gather from a wide range of sources.
Now, there's also been a lot of questions about the season ticket waiting list and having to join MyGERS in order to then join that waiting list. Can you give us a bit of an update on this one?
Yeah, so it's a good question, because you're right, Nick. It has come through on some of the fan forums and online. So the more information will be released on our season ticket waiting lists when the current renewal window closes on the 30th of June. So at the start of July, we'll be releasing detailed information on it. But to give fans a flavour for what that will look like, we will have 3 season ticket waiting lists. One will be for the family stand, one will be for all stands excluding the family stand, and one will be for the wheelchair section. So there'll be slightly different loyalty mechanisms depending on whether it's the wheelchair section or the family stand or non-family stand. But in essence, it will be loyalty points and your MyGERS points that will help guide when you are offered a season ticket to purchase. We will adapt it slightly for the family stand based on fan feedback. Some fan feedback has suggested that children might struggle to get a season ticket through that process. So to recognise that for the family stand, if the adult is a MyGERS member, they can have 2 children added to their purchase and the children don't have to be MyGERS members. So we've made that adjustment based on fan feedback, just as we were discussing there about how important it is to listen to that, to make sure that we're offering something that's right for our support. So yeah, we'll release more information on that soon. But overall, MyGERS loyalty points will be what dictates when you're offered a season ticket, but we'll create a slight exception around the family stand just to acknowledge the family positioning of that stand in certain circumstances that families find themselves in.
Yeah, and just to chime in on that one as well, is obviously, again, in all the fan feedback we've had consistently for a number of years, it's about rewarding loyalty, and that's what we've done by creating this waiting list, is those who are making the efforts to get to games, to get to buy Rangers TV, to do all the activities that are involved in earning MyGERS points will be rewarded by that, by finding themselves higher up on the waiting list. And I think that, see, when you talk to fans about that and put it in as simple terms as that, the shock that the waiting list is changing obviously was a bit of a surprise to some, but when you put around what we're seeking to do, then it makes perfect sense that those who are trying to attend games, trying to get involved and supporting the team in the right way, and being involved, because they have a chance to get a ticket before someone who maybe isn't doing those activities. You know, and having an engaged fan base is essential. We as a club are desperate to make sure our gates are as full as possible whenever that opportunity comes up. And it's about getting the fans the opportunity to be able to back the team. One of the number one frustrations that we've had in recent years, and which is one of the reasons why we pushed seat sub previously, was the fact that there was maybe some seats that were being unused when fans are waiting to get tickets. And I think it's important that through all these sort of issues that have came up, that we acknowledge them and try and build them into the overall picture of what we're trying to create around the club and MyGERS in particular. So I think that's a decision that will be held up in time is the right one, and I think people will be very satisfied with it in a couple of years' time when they start to see themselves earning the rewards through it.
Moving on then to tickets for semi-finals and finals. Will MyGERS members who are also season ticket holders be given priority for those matches?
I think this is one of the ones that's came up most. The initial prerequisite for being on the semi-finals and finals waiting list is joining the continuous credit card scheme for all home games. We've taken away that separate box that you check in order to get that priority, which I think may be some of the confusion around it, but that is the essential first step that you need to take. All fans who want that priority have to be on the CCS first, but MyGERS gets an additional priority on that, and to help ensure that we're reflecting the fans that are getting involved in the extracurricular projects in order to maintain that and reflect their input into the club. The question I've seen most is, does that mean semi-finals and finals are only going to go to MyGERS members? I think the answer to that at this time certainly is no. We don't have like 30,000-40,000 MyGERS members only. I can see scenarios maybe in the future if MyGERS skyrockets that does become the case, but I don't think that's certainly not the plan. It's not the intention. It's not what we set out to do. What we're trying to do is reflect the loyalty shown by those who are doing the CCCS, which is really important to the club, whilst acknowledging that additional step that MyGERS taken.
Yeah, I think it's so to outline our sales process for semi-finals and finals from next season. It will open with sale window 1, which is priority window 1. That window will be open to MyGERS members who are season ticket holders who have also opted into all home games CCS. So that will be priority window 1. Subject to availability, if there are still tickets remaining after that window, we'll go to priority window 2. Priority window 2 will be season ticket holders who have opted into all home games CCS. Subject to availability, if we have tickets available after priority window 2, it will be priority window 3, which is season ticket holders who haven't opted into all home games CCS. After that, if there are still tickets remaining, they will go to MyGERS members who are non-season ticket holders. If there was a ticket window after that, which I think is probably hugely unlikely, it would then go to a public sale, but hopefully that gives a bit of clarity over the different stages, sales stages that will take place for semi-finals and finals. It's moving away from a ballot because fans told us they didn't want those games to be managed through a ballot, so that's where we've created a first come first serve sales process. And it's ultimately, it's been driven by loyalty. And if you want to be in that priority window one, it's for season ticket holders who are MyGERS members who have opted into all home game CCS. So I really would reiterate that for season ticket holders interested in attending semi-finals and finals, being a MyGERS member and ticking all home game CCS is the best way to do that. And the all home game CCS still comes with the additional benefits of no booking fees, and it's the easiest way as well to have your season ticket smart card activated for the games that fall under that category. So it's definitely still worth ticking that box if you're a MyGERS member season ticket holder and you want to be at Hampden.
And what are some of the benefits for Rangers supporters clubs from MyGERS?
Yeah, so Rangers supporters clubs is a really good topic, and I'm glad you brought it up because it's one of the areas that I've seen a lot of stuff online about, and there's a few people saying this is clearly the club's elimination strategy for RSCs. The club doesn't want RSCs to exist. I can categorically state that's not the case. We're looking to embrace the cultures of RSCs with the changes that we're making. And myself, I'm somebody, I use an RSC to go to an away game, so I'm very close to the fact that for a lot of fans, RSCs are not just about getting from A to B, it's very much about the social aspect of RSCs and the community aspect that comes with that. So with RSCs next season, there is a fee being introduced. For next season, we're making that an introductory fee. We did announce at the time it was going to be £10 per adult. We're reducing that to £5 per adult for next season, and all children in concessions will be free. And in return for that fee being paid, that allows an RSC to access a portion of our tickets based on the categorisation of that RSC. A lot of discussion points have been around, is that allocation for RSC is going to be cut next season? It's not. We're going to maintain it as it has been for last season and the previous few seasons. And you mentioned what other the benefits are. We'll also be looking at RSC experiences as well for clubs. So things like going to the training centre, being able to take the full club along to that, having things like ballots around, like hospitality tickets for a club to use. So we're looking at adding those types of improvements through the RSC network as well.
Yeah, I think it's a really important point, and Natalie's right. There has been a lot of dialogue on it. I've had conversations with 20, 30 clubs since it came out, and there was that fear that the club was somehow looking to eliminate it. But it's, as Natalie says, it's not the case at all. The club does try to embrace the RSC method of getting fans to games. My personal belief is that through MyGERS, plus maintaining their current allocation, RSCs will be in a better place after this. Again, because they help fans attend away games, and therefore they're able to maybe push fans up and get them into that gold tier and allow those opportunities. I think it's really important, again, that we've made these changes to try and bring fairness and transparency around what's been going on in the RSC system. We've worked really, really hard to try and be as transparent as possible around this. I think it's fair to say that because of the current situation we've been in, we've maybe not had as many face-to-face dialogue conversations with RSCs as we would have liked and as we had planned. So I can understand a little bit of that frustration, but they can rest assured the club has their interests at heart as well as the wider fan base. They should work hand in hand, and the experiences are something that I'm sure will be really, really exciting. And that introductory fee, again, being brought down is a bit of feedback, and it's to show that we're listening and try to make sure that they aren't disadvantaged in any way. This is about creating a real, honest, true system that's fair to all. It's not a money grab. It's not there to create barriers. It's done with the right intentions. I think it's worth saying that the fee that is being introduced for the membership is not mandatory. It's not there to put a barrier to people joining your RSC. It's all around reflecting those who are looking to gain access to the RSC's ticketing mechanisms and the categorisation through that way. So really in practice, what we're looking to do is for RSCs to register their season ticket holders and their MyGERS members, and that's probably it. If there's anyone beyond that who uses the bus occasionally, we're not really needing those details. Again, it's just about reflecting the truth of what the club is, and I actually think that'll be a big advantage for our fans who are based overseas or maybe further afield in the UK who are seeking for those ticketing aspects. is because they can have a number of people sharing season tickets, they're able to have them each having a MYGERS member, and that can count towards their overall points total in a way that wasn't available before. So that allows us to have that tier of you are part of the club but not necessarily a season ticket holder, and we're now acknowledging you as part of that. And I think that's really a really encouraging sort of step. Additionally, it might be worth saying at this point as well is that we are looking at a different way of registering our overseas clubs who aren't looking for ticket and access, specifically the ones like our friends at Nairn, as I mentioned before, or in mainland Europe and beyond, the ones that aren't coming back week in, week out. We're going to approach them for a very specific ticketing offer, which that isn't, as I said, involved around that isn't a ticketing offer at all. One that will help them be able to register with the club, and that will be helpful for us right now, because our previous way of registering was all around ticketing, and that way we can help us reach out to the wider global fan base that the Rangers sport clearly has, and that going hand in hand with the global Gers offering that we're doing, I think would be a really good way of engaging that worldwide Rangers support and getting us in a position where we know we're a global fan base. All Rangers fans know that, but being able to target the different areas and see where they're coming from, be able to help them get that exposure and help them get in contact with other Rangers fans in that area is a big sort of community benefit that we can do through this. So that's really encouraging.
And just to finish, guys, do you have a message for the Rangers fans?
Yeah, I think the first message is certainly thank you for the support shown so far. It's been fantastic to see, and really just look forward to sharing the benefits and experiences with MYGERS with you all as soon as possible.
Yeah, and I just echo that as a thanks. I mean, look, we're all part of the Rangers family here. Everyone is in this call has been a Rangers fan all our days. Like we've grew up with it. We know how loyal our fan base is. We know how great our fan base is. But in every metric that is shown, our fans surpass it. They go beyond what you expect. Like in this time with the difficulties that we're all suffering in our own ways. Some people suffering way worse than others, and obviously it's been a difficult time for a lot of people, and we respect that. But the response in the back and the clubs give the fans give the club, is phenomenal. And we're just really, everybody involved at Rangers is really thankful for that. And so just, it's a long way of saying it, just thanks.